So basically, I've penetrated what would be the equivalent of a cult towards Bellsprout. I don't know about you, but if I were to be a part of a cult towards a given Pokemon, it would at least be something cool like Mewtwo or Tyranitar, but Bellsprout? Gee, of all the Pokemon to strike fear in the hearts of no one. Well, I imagine at least their Bellsprouts are easy to kill, whereas if I were dealing with an army of Tyranitars, it would be a little more complicated. And I am this close to evolving. That's right, Cyndaquil evolves as early as level 14. However, well, this is not the reason why I picked Cyndaquil, to be honest, because the level at which the second evolution is obtained, and there we go, level 14, the second evolution is a lot more important than the first, because there's not too much of a difference between level 14 or level 18, whereas here, Quilava is going to evolve into Typhlosion at level 36, whereas Chikorita evolves at levels 16 and 32, and Totodile evolves rather late first at 18, but then it evolves again at 30. So let's take a look at that evolution animation, which has never changed throughout the years, but it's still a really awesome feeling to see one of your Pokemon evolve. One that Ash's Pikachu will naturally never experience. But back to what I was saying, Cyndaquil actually got the short end of the stick when it comes to when it evolves, whereas Totodile has a huge advantage. But that's not the reason why I picked my starter, else, as I said, I would have picked one of the other two. The fact remains that Totodile and its evolutions have stat points in the wrong attack stats. Basically, all their moves run off the special attack, whereas it's the physical attack that's in the triple digits. Now, the special attack isn't as low as something like Gyarados, for example, but it's still you still get the feeling that you're missing out on something, and it took 2 generations for Feraligatr to correct that problem. And then there was no game to start into until Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Yep, they're confirmed. But back to that whole starter business. As for Chikorita, it gets Razor Leaf at level 8. But there are 2 things. One, it's not the uber godly Razor Leaf from Red, Blue, and Yellow. No! The critical hit system was changed from depending on base speed to that whole domain thing. So Razor Leaf in this generation has only a 33% chance of landing a critical, no matter the Pokemon. And in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and also Fire Red and Leaf Green, it was nerfed even further to 25%. They kept lowering the critical hit really often on those high critical moves. And the second problem is that Razor Leaf is Meganium's best move. It doesn't get anything better after that. That is absolutely unbelievable. Well, it can get Giga Drain, which can pretty much match Razor Leaf, but nothing a lot better. It's the same problem as Luxray. Luxray gets Spark at level 18, but nothing better after that. And no, Thunderfang is not better, it's worse, because you lose accuracy, you lose quite a bit of the paralysis chance, only for a flinch chance, which isn't going to work all that much because Luxray's speed is in the statistical average. So statistical average means don't rely on it overly much. Wow, a hoot hoot, that's new! Well, I suppose the cult leader is going to impale this guy on a ceremonial pole for that. He dares use something else than Bellsprout. Well, I know that the leader also uses a hoot hoot, but After all the easy Bellsprouts, that 2-hit KO is definitely a refreshing change of pace. And yes, I said that. I was actually rejoicing to see something that doesn't get killed in one shot. Yeah, it is not far to the Elder. Well, it's the very next guy, and if I remember, yeah, it's Silver who's just done trampling the crap out of that Dalai Lama guy. But he is not going to treat Silver very kindly when it comes to passing judgment on his on the relationship between him and his Pokemon. Jeez, those are a bunch of 1s and 0s. I've already said it before. What is there to love? Well, I guess you would expect a Dalai Lama ripoff to have a heart of gold. No pun intended. Okay, maybe I did intend it a little. But I can't help but think how awkward it is that Silver is treated as an antagonist when we see eye to eye. He's right. It's only the strong ones that matter. Because if you don't play to win, then what? I mean, I could understand if they were living beings, but come on! Those are a bunch of 1s and 0s. And when I say play to win, well, don't get me wrong, I don't play solely to win. Having fun comes first, but the target is always winning. But, okay, here I just picked up an escape rope, which is going to be coming real handy in the near future, and not because I'm going to use it to get out of this tiny-ass dungeon. No, you're gonna see why a bit later on. So now it's my turn to take on this Dalai Lama dude, and yeah, he just got thrashed by a Totodile. This guy's got 2 Bellsprout and a Hoot Hoot, I checked. So he's got his ass kicked by a Totodile, which really should have lost to him. So if he lost to a Totodile, then what kind of chance does he have against a Quilava? And by the way, this guy here has higher levels than Faulkner, but he has no evolved form, so it just shows that there is no real order in which you do the 2 places. With Quilava, the Bellsprout Tower should always come first, while in the other 2's case, it might be a better idea to start out with the gym. Okay, now how much damage? Yeah, I think I can kill it in 2 embers because I killed that level 7 Hoot Hoot earlier with an ember and a tackle, so 2 embers, I think. Yep, they just barely did it, so all that's left now is the second Bellsprout. And yeah, when I said that the other 2 should start with the gym, well, I'm not terribly sure about Chikorita either. It's not in a winning situation in the Bellsprout Tower, and it's certainly not in a winning situation in the gym. So that's just another reason on top of everything that I've said. It's another reason not to pick the damn Chikorita. So now that I've won, I am going to obtain the Flash HM, which I'm going to give to Bellsprout. As I said earlier, it didn't learn Flash in Red, Blue, and Yellow, but it does now, and it has done so ever since. Now, of course, I am going to need the badge in order to actually use Flash, which is needed to light dungeons like the Dark Cave, and I'm not too sure, but I think I need it for the Union Cave as well. Now I imagine that you were all expecting me to talk about Hard Gold and Soul Silver during the entire video, but that's not going to be the case. I've already said everything that needed to be said back in part 6 and 7, so if you want my opinion on it, it hasn't changed. Go watch those videos. Though I hope they do include some crystal stuff in there, such as the Suicune Saga, the Battle Tower, and why not that the quiz which leads to the Extreme Speed Dratini. Dragonite could really use Extreme Speed to at least maybe give it another shot at doing something that Salamence can't do, especially since Salamence picked up Outrage with Platinum. Well, that's all for now. First trip to the ruins of Alph in the next video.